Hi, I'm Tori.
And I'm Leah.
I'm Aram.
Welcome back to the Boys Lie podcast.
A podcast where we talk about the craziest relationship stories you've ever heard, pop culture, and the piping hot tea of our lives.
So buckle up, enjoy the ride, and remember that
Boys lie. Boys lie.
Boys lie.
Boys lie. Them boys, they be lying.
Boys lie.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Howdy.
I wish we were in a bed still.
I know.
Me too.
I'm thinking about switching up this room, though.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? To what?
Maybe one big bed.
Okay. Okay, bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might take some of my furniture back, you know?
Yeah, well, no, you can't have it now.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh.
No bed for you anymore.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I'd rather be in bed with you guys and take the bed home anyways. It's all good.
That makes sense. Are we doing story time first, or would you guys like to yap it up?
Let's do story time first.
If you guys have a story you'd like to share on the Boys Lie podcast, please share via boyslieofficial.com. And if your story gets selected to be on the podcast, you win a free sweatsuit.
Woo!
Woo.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Do you want to start this week? Because we have a follow-up.
Okay, sure. I'll start.
Okay.
So I'm going to read this original story first. And for those of you guys who are already like listeners, you've heard this story, but I love a good follow-up. So we're going to read the original first, and then I'm going to read the follow-up after. I have a friend that lives in a different state that I met through my remote job, and we've been friends for years. And over a year ago, she came to visit me for the first time. So she gets here, and immediately she starts acting flirty towards my husband and continues talking about sex. She was talking about how she went on a date with a guy, and they didn't have sex after. My husband said, "I don't know why, I'd bang you," to which I just sat there with a surprised look on my face because I couldn't believe that he had just said that. A few next days later, I just noticed a weird feeling between the three of us when we were all together, opposed to when it was just my friend and I. While she was visiting, my friend and I went out to dinner, and I had to go outside to get something really quick, and I asked her to come with me, and she refused. She stayed inside with my husband, and I thought for sure I would walk into something. He kept touching her and flirting her and playing with her while she was visiting. I might fast forward just to the highlight of this. Basically, the friend goes out to dinner again with this couple and visits again. And honestly, I think in the previous podcast episode, we said, like, why would you even allow her to visit again with this flirtatious behavior, even though it is also your husband that's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this was a red flag enough for me to be like, you should trust your gut.
Yeah.
So anyways, fast forward 5 months later, she was in town for a quick trip, and she asked to meet me up for dinner near where I live. I told my husband I was going to dinner with her, and he stopped everything he was doing to come to dinner with us, which I found super weird because he never wants to hang out with my friends. The entire time we were at dinner, she held her phone, and I saw her taking Snapchats and sending them to her friends, and she wouldn't even talk to me. She would only talk to my husband. She then very aggressively announced that she was going to the bathroom, and not even a minute later, the food came out, and my husband said he had to go to the bathroom too. I told him, absolutely not. You're not going to leave me here, or you can wait till she gets back. And he got mad at me. She was in the bathroom for quite a while and finally came out. My husband never went to go to the bathroom. Fast forward again, and she visits, and the entire time she's talking about sex and showing me and my husband her nudes and asking if she's fuckable to my husband. I don't know how to handle the situation. I knew I shouldn't have even let her come visit again, but here we are. Long story short, she said that this is something that she's dealing with, and she goes, I did bring it up to my husband and let him know my insecurities, and of course he said that I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. So now we have a follow-up to the story, because obviously, again, none of us agree with this behavior. She should trust her gut instinct, and to me, if a girl's already showing her nudes, like, I would feel so weird if that was like Leah showing Michael or vice versa with me showing Kevin. Like, that's violently inappropriate.
There's no reason you should be showing your nudes to anybody who's in a relationship.
Here we go with the follow-up. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of actually forgetting about this whole situation. I kept pushing it out of my brain, out of sight, out of mind. And then when I was getting over it and not stressing about this every day, I get a text from, quote unquote, the friend. She texted asking if she can come to town and hang out with not only me, but my husband for the weekend. ... I thought this was so weird because why are you asking to hang out with my husband when it's her and I who are the friends? I definitely didn't want her around, so I told her I had plans that weekend, and she asked, well, does Tommy have plans that weekend?
Ew.
I didn't respond because what the actual fuck? And an hour later, she said, just kidding, LOL.
So Tommy's the husband. So the friend's asking if her husband's still there.
Which, to me, it's like...
It's not funny.
It's not even a joke to be funny with.
No.
Like, how is that actually funny at all?
It's terrible.
I never responded to her, and I never said anything to my husband about it either. The next night, my husband randomly asks, have you heard from Talia recently? This question literally freaked me out because I knew I had a reason to be suspicious.
Definitely.
But another weird thing to note is that I've always called her this long name of Natalia, I guess she says, and never Talia. And he referred to her as Talia, like as if they were close friends.
Yeah.
So he used a nickname or a pet name with her. So I told my husband, no, I haven't heard from her in a while, lying because I wanted to see what he would say, and he didn't respond. That night, I knew I had to go on his phone and look up whatever was going on, because at this point I knew something was up. After he fell asleep, I went on his phone and found exactly what I was looking for. He has Natalia's name stored in his phone as Aaron, which is a guy from work. So at first I didn't think to click on it. The last message just said okay in the chat preview. So after reading, yes, they definitely were trying to meet in the family bathroom at the restaurant last time we were all together.
Oh my God.
They have been talking on and off for over a year. She sends him nudes every time they do text with each other. And the thing is, it makes no sense to me. I literally never come up in conversation. It's like I don't exist at all. This was 2 nights ago. I looked in the phone. I haven't said anything. I legit do not know what to do, and I can't believe this is happening to me. Well, sister, I unfortunately know what to do, and I'm a married woman myself. And I think if your partner is going to be really shady like this, in my opinion, this is unforgiving behavior, and it's pattern behavior. He's going to do this to you again, whether that be with Talia or it's going to be with Jessica, like a future person. This behavior never goes away, just from my understanding and experiences. And it doesn't matter at this point if you're married or not, because he's already crossed that boundary of his vows. I would secretly go meet with a divorce lawyer. You're obviously a working girly swirly, and that's amazing. And I think that you shouldn't stop doing that, knowing that you're going to have to start planning to just get away from him. And that's my best recommendation. And I know that's definitely not what you want to hear. And I know you want to continue to avoid it. And I know that like it's easier to live comfortably, but the most you can do for yourself is take the initiative to do something again for you and solely you. And that would be to go to a divorce lawyer, set up some paperwork. Again, get those photos, get that evidence. Obviously, I think that's an important piece to this too. So then you can at least get what you want in the divorce.
Screenshot them.
Yeah. Or take the pictures of them with your phone.
With your phone, yeah.
And then the last thing is I'd set up like looking into future places to live.
Bottom line here is your husband is cheating on you with your friend and your friend is deceiving you. Talk to a divorce lawyer. This is never going to change, especially if he's doing it with somebody so close to you. Like that's already like insane to me. And it's somebody that you considered your friend. You need to cut them both out of your life at a slow pace with this divorce lawyer, obviously. Like don't blow up your spot. Because like you said, she should get what she wants.
Tell him
Don't tell him anything.
And watch, even if they end up together, he's going to do this to her.
Yeah.
Well, like because he doesn't know that she knows.
No,
right?
and keep it that way.
Yeah.
Like keep it, the less he actually knows that you know, the better off you are. Because then you not only have the strength to get what you want in a divorce, you can divorce him, you can set yourself up to prep for a better future for you, and just know that this Talia girl, he's going to do this to her too. And he's going to do this with one of her quote unquote friends.
100%.
Don't let him think you're crazy or anything like this. Do not avoid this is my best advice.
Yeah. I don't know if Talia's friends with like your other friends or if you guys are in like a friend group together, but like once you know, I don't know, get this divorce lawyer and start moving away from him, I think she needs to be exposed.
I think she's a coworker friend, so I'm not sure, but I agree.
She still needs to be exposed to people regardless, because like she's shitty. She's horrible.
Yeah. The second hardest thing, on top of obviously getting cheated on and deceived by your best friend in the situation, is going to be keeping silent until you actually have like all your ducks in a row and you can like serve him with the divorce papers. But it's not worth blowing up anyone's spot until you have everything set in stone for yourself, because it's just going to make it harder, and you're already going through something that's really, really fucking hard right now.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry, but like if you're asking us what to do, like please take this advice, because this guy is going to continue to hurt you.
Yeah, this guy is not going to be one of those who's like, oh, please forgive me, I'll never do it again. He's going to do it again. And the fact that he made you feel crazy, and this girl Talia also felt confident enough to text you, be like, I want to hang out with your husband.
Yeah.
There's a bigger issue at hand. He's going to continue on again this behavior, and I'd rather you not be the victim. And by not being the victim in this, take the initiative and step forward to be selfish. Get out of this relationship, like
completely,
immediately.
And in the meantime, like while you're doing all of that, he is still your husband, so you are still gonna have to like live with him and like see him and stuff. And like maybe there'll be good days where, you know, he's like nice and shit, because like he is your husband.
Don't fall into that.
Yeah, just don't fall into like patterns while you're like also know this in the back of your head. Like keep that in the forefront.
And if you do feel that way, listen to our podcast again and just listen to our voices.
Yeah, keep listening to this episode over and over again. Like save it in your listening.
Fuck that guy, fuck that girl, and power to you, diva.
And hopefully the next follow-up will be, I divorced him.
Yeah, keep us in the loop, girl.
Yep.
Mhm.
Agreed. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
I'm
It's
like
really
terribly
terrible.
sorry, and this sucks. And
Yeah.
I hope that it gets better, and just wear the sweatsuit too.
Yeah.
Just as a
Yeah.
friendly reminder,
Yeah.
even on the good days,
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Literally.
get out of this.
Well, now you got your second one coming. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And probably a third once you write in with that follow
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
I'm sorry
Wanna go
again. Who's
Yeah,
next?
I can go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is a long one, so get ready, girls.
Okay.
I'm bracing for impact.
Thanks for your podcast. I've been going through a lot within the dating world, and your podcast definitely makes me feel not alone. Also, love listening to all the tea of your lives. Thanks, girl.
Thanks.
Yay.
Okay, anyways, let's get into my story. This isn't about dating, but still a story about how boys lie, even 40-year-old boys. Men don't lie. This happened a couple years ago. I was 25 at the time, but I saw this guy at the gym, and I thought, dang, this would make a good boys lie story. Okay, so I've been going to the same gym for about 5 years now and still go to this gym. I work hard on my physique. I was approached by a guy, we will call him Brad. He asked me if I ever thought about doing a bodybuilding swimsuit show. I responded, no, not really. I like food too much. He responded, well, okay, let me know if you change your mind. I'm a trainer and would train you for free. Hint to the girls, if a guy asks to train you for free, immediately say no. I gave it some thought for a few weeks because I thought it would be a good challenge for me to try something new. I later approached him and said, you know what? I actually would be interested. He was excited and said, okay, what's your phone number? I'll text you. I stupidly gave it to him and he started texting me every single day. At first it started with, how was your workout? At first I responded because I thought this was a normal thing. I've never worked with any kind of trainer before, and then the text turned into an everyday occurrence. They were more like, how was your day? I stopped responding because I thought it was weird. If I didn't respond, he'd text me again saying the same thing, or I hope your day was good. I'd see him at the gym and he'd say, I texted you, and I'd always respond with, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to respond. I thought he'd get the hint to stop texting me so much. Then summer rolled around, and I'm a teacher, so I was on summer break. He told me he wanted to do a personal training session one-on-one with me, but we couldn't do it at my normal gym, and we had to go to a different gym.
Absolutely not.
No.
Red flag is what she put.
Yeah.
So I went to the other gym with him, and we did work out together. He started touching me in weird spots like my butt. I didn't think much about it because that's what a trainer does. At the end of the first workout, he told me, the only way to really see the change in your body is to take pictures before and after.
Okay, first of all, like, also no, trainers don't touch your
No.
butt.
No.
Like, first of all, even when you're doing the squatting and stuff, they can call out for you to reposition yourself, but do not, no one, you don't
grabbing
owe
you.
anyone anything to
Yeah.
touch you at
No.
all.
No one should be touching you.
This is something that, like, you accidentally didn't mean to put yourself in. So, like, I'm not blaming you at all, by the way, but
Especially if it's happening for the first time. Like, it sounds like she's trying to, like, work out her, she likes to keep her physique in shape. Like, she doesn't, if you're working with a trainer for the first time and they're touching your butt, you might just think, oh maybe there's
maybe
just-
it's nothing, like, and brush
Mhm.
it off.
Yeah.
and
New experience first, so she was probably like, oh. Taking photos makes sense to me because a lot of people do it. He said I could take them myself, or he could help me pose and we could take them.
Oh, God.
And that we could take them at my house where I'd feel more comfortable in a swimsuit. So I stupidly told him he could come over to my house and take pictures of me. So that's what he did, and when he came to my house, it was weird. He came over and took pictures, but the whole time he was talking about how him and his wife are having problems. He's 40. He asked me how much it would cost to live in the house I do now, and if there were any houses for sale in my neighborhood. I said, I'm not sure, and he said I was looking for a new place to live because he thought he was going to get a divorce.
That's fucking weird.
So fucking weird. I was thinking, this is weird. I do a little bit of social media, and he started posting on social media back then, and I still do. I posted a video about seeing my gym crush at the gym. When he was at my house right before he left, he said, who's your gym crush video about? I responded with, I don't really want to share who that's about. I think he was hoping maybe it was him. But then before he left, he asked me if I could give him a hug. I said yes because I didn't want to say no. I had no idea if he was just trying to be nice or if it was creepy. I called my mom and told her what happened. She said the older generation doesn't understand what it's like to say no these days. He's just being nice.
Oh,
Ugh.
God. That's not true.
No.
by the
Also, that's
way.
awful advice
I
from
hate
any
that
mother.
advice.
Any mother should never let you be touched.
No.
Period.
Yeah. And also, no means no.
I know.
I know. So then I thought maybe I was just overthinking it. And then he started commenting on all my social media posts. He was commenting things like beautiful, gorgeous. So I blocked him. Then he approached me at the gym and said, I can't see any of your photos anymore. So I made a new account. I responded with, I'm not sure why that is. I didn't want to tell him that I blocked him. Then he continued to text me constantly. He also made me a workout plan, and I was following it a little bit, but I was also trying to keep my distance. because this situation was weirding me out. It got to be too much that I finally stopped responding to all of his text messages. He started sending paragraphs to me just telling me fitness tips. I still didn't respond. He kept texting me, then eventually said, "I'd love to take you out to dinner sometime."
No.
I responded, "I'm really busy right now." After that, I knew I needed to put an end to whatever he thought this was. I finally got the nerve to approach him at the gym and told him, "I'm sorry, but I can't continue to train for this show with you because you're making me feel uncomfortable." He immediately said, "I'm sorry," and walked away. Then a couple days later, he approached me again and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I invite all my clients to dinner." I said, "It's okay." After that, he didn't approach me at the gym anymore and stopped texting me. A couple years passed, and I met up with a friend of mine who coaches at a gym he now coaches at. She asked me if I'd be interested in coaching, and I told her I can't work at the same gym because of what happened, and I told her my story. She said, "Oh my gosh, I have a very similar experience." In that moment, I felt so validated. She told me he got her number from a staff contact list at work and wouldn't stop texting her. She said she couldn't tell if he was trying to be nice or not, but that he also gave her creepy vibes. Anyway, that's my story. I saw him at the gym today, and he told me I should start bodybuilding. He also mentioned he's single, and if he texts me, I might crash out. Anyways, 40-year-old boys lie just as much as 21-year-old boys.
That's bizarre. That this guy is he's not doing anything like that's like harmful right now, but like you don't know where this could like go eventually.
No,
and like this person clearly has issues. Like he doesn't understand social cues, and the fact that he's also stealing numbers from the gym's Rolodex and texting another girl.
Yeah.
Like this guy needs to be like, you guys need to talk to the owners of the gyms and just alert them that this guy's, because he's going to continue to hit on like young girls.
Like gym HR.
Gym HR. I don't think there's gym HR.
Well, there's got to be something.
But
Gym complaint? I
do
know.
think, I think you should file a complaint, but I also think it's wildly inappropriate in general, and he oversteps so many boundaries. And
Oh, no, this man is a creep.
if you get the inkling that someone's a creep, you also don't owe them anything. But if you
No.
get that inkling, trust your gut. Like, you don't have to say, "Oh, he was nice," or like try and give him the benefit of the doubt. Don't give anyone the benefit of the doubt.
Never.
No.
And also it's like, I feel like women in general have such a hard time, like either just saying to somebody like, "Please stop texting me, it's making me uncomfortable," or "I'm not interested." Like women have a really hard time doing this, and I think a lot of it stems from just like the way that we grew up. Like even your mom, for example, like she's saying like, "Oh no, he's just being nice," like that generation doesn't understand. But like we have these principles ingrained in our brain, like to be respectful and to like respect men, but you don't owe anyone anything again. And like no means no.
Yeah.
And also just like sometimes it's really hard to have the confidence to actually tell somebody like, "I'm uncomfortable, please stop, leave me alone," because it feels like you're going to hurt their feelings. But you should never be afraid of hurting anyone's feelings.
No.
If you feel uncomfortable.
Especially if this isn't like, I don't know, someone that you like care about. Like, fuck him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't owe him anything. Like
Yeah.
Literally
he's
cause a
creep.
scene if you want to.
Yeah.
Be
Mhm.
dramatic. Like, it's your time to shine, actually,
It
and make
is.
him feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad you got away from him.
Yeah, I think a lot of men at least feel so confident making someone else feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And I feel like you can rip that confidence from them so quickly by standing up to them and like go feral.
Yeah, back the fuck off.
All right. I'll get into the last story. First off, I want to say how much I love you guys. Listening to your podcast always makes my day, and I'm so happy to see you succeed.
Aw.
Now let's get into my boys' lies story. Freshman year was supposed to be all about new beginnings, a new place, new people, new experiences. I remember moving into the dorms with high hopes and eager to start this new chapter of my life. Ella, my roommate, seemed perfect for the role of my college roomie. She was friendly, easygoing, and like me, loved the idea of diving into the social scene and partying. At first, everything was fine. We bonded over late nights at the library and also partying a little too hard. But soon, things started getting really weird. It started out slowly and almost harmlessly. Ella began asking me where I got certain clothes or makeup. And she
I
said
know where this is going.
said things like, "I love your hair curled like that."
Oh,
or
no.
"Can you show me how to do it?" And at first, again, I was flattered. But then it wasn't just the hair. She started wearing the same outfits I wore the same makeup looks, bought the same signature perfume I wear, and started doing the same mannerisms I do. She was transforming into me. Her copying ended up getting so intense that one of my friends brought it up to me, which validated the way I felt. The weirdest part to this dynamic was that Ella hated my boyfriend, Daniel. Daniel wasn't the best guy in the world, but there was no reason for her to hate him. He was a typical college frat boy. And at first, Ella seemed fine with him. She was normal and friendly, but the more time we spent together, the more uncomfortable she made me feel about him. She'd give him these cold, judgmental looks even when he hadn't done anything wrong, and she would constantly sabotage Daniel and I hanging out and make excuses as to why she needed to spend time with me. We would go to his frat parties all the time. And one night, we were there with a group of our friends. As it's getting late, I tell the girls and Ella that I'm going to his room. And Ella doesn't say anything and ignores me. But I was drunk and horny, okay? Daniel
At least
and
it's
I,
honest.
Yeah.
Daniel and I go up to his room and start to hook up. About 10 minutes later, the door swings open and Ella's standing in the doorway.
Oh.
Daniel and I
What
are
the hell?
naked and throw the blankets over us. And I
The
said,
Heliante?
I said, what's going on, to Ella. She just starts sobbing and says we needed to go. So I ended up putting my clothes back on and leaving the party with her. I figured something had happened and I felt bad, but she wouldn't talk about it and I wanted to be a good friend.
What? The cock block is going on.
Yeah.
She's just jealous.
But like at the same time, like if a friend did that to me at a party, I would do the same thing. I would just
Oh,
be like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I mean, it must be like a really big deal if you're gonna stop me up. If you're gonna stop my hookup.
Mid-sex.
No,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I would think it would be a huge deal if someone like had
Same.
to barge in knowing that I
For
was about to go
sure.
back to a room with a boy, like,
Yeah.
and be
She's
like,
naked in
wait.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next day, I talked to the other girls and I asked what happened while I was upstairs and why Ella was so upset. They all said that nothing had happened, or at least they hadn't seen anything happen. Once I went upstairs with Daniel, Ella started venting about how much she hates him and how I deserve someone that cares deeply about me. This is when I started getting a weird feeling that she wanted to be more than friends.
Oh God.
Another crazy thing, one of Daniel's frat brothers also told us that she had asked him for a clothes hanger, and we later found out that this is what she used to pick the lock on his bedroom door to walk in on us.
What the Halle Berry?
Oh my God.
I'm not sure if this is a universal thing at colleges
It's
or not, but in my dorm, if a hair scrunchie was on a doorknob, this means not to come in, aka
Oh.
people were hooking up in the room. One weekend, Ella said she was going home to see her family, and I was excited to get some alone time with Daniel and not have to go to his gross frat house. I got a new lingerie set that I could not wait to show him. I texted Ella that I was having Daniel over, and she never replied. I still put the scrunchie on the door when Daniel comes over, and we ended up hooking up. When we were hooking up, the door yanks open, and
No
you guessed it,
fucking way.
Ella is standing in the doorway.
Oh my God.
And I said, "What are you doing here?" And she responded by saying, "I didn't end up going home."
Where's the gun?
No,
when you're
literally.
done.
I asked her why she walked in with a scrunchie in the door, and she said there was no scrunchie on the door. But I felt crazy because I remember putting it on there, but maybe I was mistaken. I had a long week at school, so I probably did forget.
Leave the room though.
I
Is she
know.
just standing there? Like, get out for a sec.
Yeah.
I would say, like, can you give me a sec?
Yeah, can we
Like,
talk later,
yeah,
babe?
like, can you go away for like 15, 20 minutes?
Like any other time, but
Yeah.
now.
That's so fucking crazy.
But a part of me wondered why she purposely kept walking in on us. Daniel ends up leaving and Ella pretends like nothing happened. A few days later, I decided to leave class early because I wasn't feeling well. I wanted to go back to my dorm and lay in my bed. I go back to the dorm, and when I open the door, I see Ella.
Uh-huh.
Ella was looking at herself in the mirror wearing my lingerie
Of course she
from
was.
the other night, and her hair was up with the scrunchie that was on the door. She took the scrunchie off the door, knowing that Daniel and I were in there, and now she's wearing it in her hair. My heart dropped to my stomach, and I froze. I ended up saying I forgot something, and I ran out of the dorm. My legs were shaking as I was running away, and I felt like I was going to topple over, but that was the final straw. I'm moving out.
Yeah.
I am not a confrontational person at all. I wish I could have talked to her and told her I was moving out, but honestly, I was scared. I ended up coming up with a plan to move out and get a group of friends and Daniel to come over and help. I type up the plans and I hit send to my friends. But in a moment of pure panic, I messed up, and instead of sending the text to Daniel, I sent
no.
it straight to Ella.
Of course.
I
Oh,
didn't.
it just gets
I wish
worse.
this was written in for the text giveaway.
Yeah,
This is
what?
good.
Oh, this is so
Yeah.
juicy.
I didn't realize what had happened until I saw the delivered notification pop up on my screen, and my hands went cold. The text was out there in the world. She ends up replying an hour later saying, "Good luck with that." I was terrified. I didn't want her to mess with any more of my things, and I called a group of my girls and Daniel and had everyone come over. Luckily, Ella was not home when we got there, and I moved all my stuff out. I ended up getting paired with a random girl in the dorm since I moved out, and she is now one of my best friends in the world.
Good.
Thank God.
Daniel and I are no longer together, and he did end up being a cheater and a piece of shit, so
Okay.
maybe Ella did end up being right in that regard. I'm engaged now to the sweetest guy that cares about me deeply, so
Oh,
I think
great.
Ella would be happy about that. Thankfully, Ella did not follow me into sophomore year and ended up transferring to a small nursing school since she didn't get into our other college program.
I don't think she should be a nurse.
Yeah, I
And
don't
she
think so
says-
either. She cares way too much.
Yeah, in a weird fucking way too.
So then she said, "So what do you guys think? Do you think she wanted to be me or be with me?"
I think a little bit of both.
I think both. I think she wanted to like experience you.
Yeah, I think
hate
she
to
was just
say it like
obsessed
that.
with you.
Yeah, the lingerie of it all.
The wearing the clothes. I feel like you can relate.
I had a college roommate that like I thought was obsessed with me, or like I used that word even though it's probably not the right word to use. And we were just like such college, like I was a young freshman girl.
Wasn't she stealing your panties?
Yeah, I caught her
No, see, that is
wearing my
weird.
underwear in the mirror also, and
that
I just
is
like,
obsession.
felt so spooked out about it. And there were other things too, like we'd be, for instance, girls make out with girls when they're drunk. Like it was one of the things in college, whatever. But like there would be times like when we'd like be in the same dorm room obviously together, and she'd be like, do you want to like make out to like send it to people, even though we were like both sober. Like it would be one thing if we were like wasted
No, not
in
really.
like a bathroom at a frat house being like, let's send this to people who are here. I don't know.
It just depends on it depends on the environment. She's asking you.
Yeah, it's weird.
I wouldn't feel comfortable sleeping in the same room as her.
No, me either.
I feel like she would stare at me while I'm falling asleep.
It was weird. She had a boyfriend too.
So
not only was she stealing my stuff, but she had a boyfriend. She did cheat on him while we were at school with the guy that I had made out with in the dorm.
Okay, see.
But the day after I had made out with him and stuff, she had to make out with him.
Yeah, because she wanted to be you.
Sometimes I'm not sure if it's like an obsession where it's like they want to be you or they want to take what you have because they want to like feel like it's like a game to them. They want to like claim something.
I don't know if it's that. Like reading this kind of inspired me to say I think they truly want to experience.
They want to wear your skin.
Yeah,
they want to be in you, like you know.
Yeah, they want to climb into
breathe you.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
I think there's something like in the brain that like makes people be that way because that's like not a normal thing. Like I've never felt like that with someone. Yeah. I think most people
you're a
haven't.
Normal person.
Yeah, so I feel like if you are feeling like that, you're like not normal.
No,
like, you know?
No, I don't think that's normal behavior at all.
It's like a chromosome off or something.
It's different too. This is kind of like that Freud type of thing, but I do remember when I was younger with my older sister, like I thought that she was the coolest girl in the world, so I would want to wear her clothes, or like same with my mom and stuff. And I guess in that way, like sure, like I didn't want to be her experiencer like that, but like I admired her so greatly that I was like, oh, like I want to be like her.
Yeah, but I think that's a shared experience. Like
I felt like that as well.
Yeah, and also like for example, it's different if you're best friends with somebody and like they have like, really cute clothes and you're like, I love that. Can I borrow it? Like that's a different situation. But if people are like stealing your underwear,
yeah,
and also like rude or like barging in on you and your boyfriend while you're obviously having sex,
and multiple times,
yeah,
like yeah, why are you? And then not talking about it. Like it's one thing to barge in, but like say something. Don't just say like, oh, he's horrible, whatever. So it really bothers me. Like that's not enough to like barge in on someone like that.
No,
it's also violating as fuck.
The whole thing is violating. So sorry you went through that, girl, but you know.
Thank God you're engaged. Shout out to your like new fiance.
But part of me wonders too if these types of women are like don't understand that they're like lesbian. Maybe they like don't really fully know and they actually like have a crush
Maybe.
instead of wanting to be them. Like maybe they just like actually like have feelings for this person. They're unable to like compartmentalize like what those are in their brain.
I don't know if it's that or again that like is it a level of admiration where like they feel like they want to be like them because they haven't had something similar?
I don't know.
Is it competitive? I don't know.
Well, because the first part of the story is flattering, right? Like she like wants to be, she like likes the way you curl your hair. She likes the way you dress. So she's like subtly copying you. Like I feel like that is like a small part of that is flattering.
And in girl world, it's like fun. Like you're like, oh, let me help you with your hair. Let me like help you with your makeup.
And maybe this girl, like I don't know, like never like experienced life in like those ways, or it wasn't knowledgeable about cute things like that. So she was like, oh, I like this stuff.
And I also want to be you.
But now, you know, that she turned creep. So.
Yeah. It is weird. Again, happy you're engaged, happy you're happy. Emma's a freak.
Did you guys watch that new movie Echo Valley?
Yeah, with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing.
My take on this is kind of like a different level of like love and heartbreak, and I was thinking about this and I had asked Michael that too. It's like, how far would you go for your child? And if you guys haven't seen Echo Valley, it's basically like Sydney Sweeney is an addict, and she comes home and she'll come home at like different parts of the nights, but there's parts of her addictive behavior that's like really volatile and violent, and basically she goes so far down the line of addiction to the point where she shows up at her mom's house, who's Julianne Moore, and she's like, I killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so Julianne Moore, as the mom figure who's doting on her daughter, she like really tries to protect her, and by protecting her she tries to hide essentially the body. My whole part in this is like, I was asking Michael and he's like, oh, like, you know, maybe I would, because like you would do anything for your kid. And then, you know, when we got to the end, I was like, honestly, like this should be like a lesson learned for all parents, or like all parents should watch this movie, because considerably like like addict behavior, that patterns repeat
Mm-hmm.
of behavior
Mhm.
or repetitive for behavior. And like, I was like, holy shit, it would only get worse from there.
I know. And then the ending was also depressing because it just shows that like,
But then it was like kind of good at the same time.
well, because it's showing that the pattern's gonna continue to repeat, even though her mom just went through this fucking hell. Like then she's calling her mom, be like, "Mom," or did she
Yeah.
show up? I can't remember.
She's just
She-
showed
she
up,
did
but
show
she was
up.
listening to the voicemails that she had left her deceased partner.
But in terms of like how far you'd go for your child, I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know until I'm actually put in that situation. I don't
Yeah.
think I would bury a body for my daughter.
I'm just saying, like, I would feel, even though I'd want to protect my child, and I would get them a lawyer still, and I would get them like the best
Yeah.
setup essentially in
Mm.
the court system that I possibly could. I internally now have like recognized just from watching that, as even though love is love and you would do anything for your kids, and I don't
Mm.
doubt that without
Yeah.
like a second in my mind, if that's just the starting place of
Yeah.
this person's life,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna continue.
Such enabling
Totally.
behavior. But
You're
it's
so
hard
right.
because it's like you feel like when you have a child that acts like that, cutting them off completely, it feels like you're ruining their life, and it's to them it's you're ruining their life. But like sometimes it actually is the only way.
You can't allow it.
And then you're saying,
can't.
oh, I'll tolerate it to a certain extent. I'll tolerate it to a certain extent. But then it's like there's no limit or boundary, and the child knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll continuously come back for more and more and more because they know you're gonna bend
And
and
if
they know you're gonna break.
You don't challenge yourself by cutting them off in that way. I feel like that it's
Nothing-
just going to get worse and
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's honestly a lost cause, I think.
Sometimes.
But like the hiding the body thing, like if I would do it, I think it would depend on the situation.
That's what Michael and I were saying. Michael and I
Yeah.
would be like, there are some circumstances, especially if it was like a self-defense thing.
Yeah, self-defense thing. My kid wasn't like an addict. They were actually good people.
But it just seems like a mess. I
Like,
don't
they
know.
made a mistake, but then it's like you can't call the police and be like,
Then
it's
it's
a
on your
mistake.
conscience for the rest of your life. Like I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Then it tortures you for the rest of your life.
I think I
Yeah.
would have to witness it to then want to be able to help because then I'm involved.
You want to witness your kid accidentally kill someone?
No, I wouldn't want to, but like I would have to be someone involved in the killing to be able to hide the body. Because if they came home and was like, I killed someone, I'd be like, oh my god, like
Yeah, but call 911.
I'm not getting involved. But if I was already involved in some sort of way,
But I feel like it's different when it's your kid. Like, it's so easy to just say that, but it's so true. Like, the bond of mother to child is so deep that, and same with like parent in general, but like, I feel like that extent of things, you have to cut your kid off. You have
For
to do
sure.
it.
definitely.
Because it's just like, what are you gonna?
It's only gonna
ruining your
perpetuate.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse if she's that young.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, I can't imagine. I'm not a parent. I really don't know. I hope to never have to go through that. And I'm sure
Same.
there's some extent that every parent does, whatever the situation is. I don't know. It's hard. I hope I never am in that fucking situation.
Good movie though. Made me feel like a lot of emotions. Like I was like angry.
I was also
like,
furious because
sad.
Aram recommended it, and
I
I was
did.
like,
Yeah.
Aram, this is only getting worse. And you know, I see you like out in the
Yeah.
streets, and I'm like, Aram.
I know, I'm like
No.
wasted. But like it was good in that regard that like I don't know, like I feel like it made me feel things.
I also have another conversation that's kind of crazy. I was talking to a friend over the weekend, and he's a part of the gay community, and he's
Yes.
very much so looking for a relationship, and he's like enjoying dating, but he's like, actually, like, I really am like a relationship type person. I really am into that. And I was talking to him, and I was like, well, what kind of guys are you into, whatever, because I know that we've had conversations in this room where like, Aram, you're like, oh, in the gay community too, for me, it doesn't bother me if someone's like older versus
Mhm.
younger, where it's
Mhm.
like in the straight community, like if you have like a Scott Disick with like a 12-year-old, it's like
It's like frowned upon.
yeah. And this person's like, no, actually that does like make me feel really icky. And he's like, I just can't imagine coming home and bringing someone that's like the same age as my parents home to them.
Yeah.
He's like, I think my parents would find that disrespectful. But I kind of wanted to hear like your take. Like, would you ever bring a guy home that was like older within the realm of your parents' age?
I mean, if I really was like in love with them, then like yeah, I think it would definitely be a hard pill for them to swallow. But I also don't think I could fall in love with someone who is that old. Like
Yeah.
I think a 10-year like whatever.
Is that your like, I feel like 8 to 10 is like a max out range
I
that's
think-
acceptable to
I
me
think
for
10
some
is like my
reason.
max.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think I could, just based on like I don't know, the way that we like move around life and like what I like and like what I view. I don't see myself falling in love with someone who is that old. I feel like we're different.
It also speaks me out too, because then it's like when you are in love with somebody that within that age range, right? Like, I think there is obviously a part of it with one of my friends' situations where it is true love. Like I do believe that they're in love, they're infatuated with each other. Like it's a whole thing. But did that like come on through the idea of comfort from a person that can be there or be supportive? Or I think is the attractive part about dating someone that's older is because they have a maturity level that's different, because they're probably more financially stable, because
I think both. I also think some of it might stem from childhood, because I forget if I was like reading a book or if I actually heard this from somebody, but they were talking about their daughter who like has always dated older men, and they were saying that even when she was like in first grade, she always had a crush on like her teacher who was like 70, and like she was so young and she like loved him. I don't know, maybe it's like the way that you are, maybe something happens to you as a child where like you are attracted to older men. Maybe you do want to feel stable.
Also, I'm not yucking anyone's
no,
by the way.
totally
I
not.
just, by the way, wanted to put that out there.
If I wasn't in a relationship and happy, like I don't know, I can't ever say I wouldn't. I just like don't think if I ever brought somebody home that was my dad's age, I think my dad would be really upset.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I feel like if I did that too, and again, like not yucking anyone's yum, whatever, like if I was still on like in the dating pool of things, if I brought someone who's even like at a 10 plus age range, I feel like my family would really freak the fuck out.
And to be fair, if my dad and my mom got divorced and my dad started dating someone who was my age, I would also be freaked out.
Oh, I would freak the
you
fuck
know
out
what I mean?
also.
So like if the roles were reversed, I would understand. I just think as a parent, you're like, what are your intentions with my daughter? You know what I mean?
Well, and then it's also like with the respect level of your parents too. If you do bring someone in that's of that same age realm, and let's say they don't agree with your parents like teachings or your respect for them, and then you obviously like side with your partner in a certain circumstance.
I think if my sister were to come home with someone who was older, it would be harder pill for them to swallow than if it was me.
Really?
Yeah, I think the girl thing, I don't know, I feel like it can like maybe feel like creepier. But then I think with a lot of like older gays, like they're like living their gay life like now more so than they were before.
That's so
I think
true.
it's like
So
it's different
they're
in that
new
regard.
to the exploration door of seeing that.
Or they're like, I don't know, like divorced or something. It's just like a different like world.
It is different.
But like I still think about like, let's say you have a kid and then they come home with someone who's 10 years older. Like, would that bother you? I think it would.
I feel like it has to be when they're like a full grown adult.
I also feel like if you're like 45, have never had like a real serious relationship, marriage, or anything like that in a man's life, and you're dating like a 12-year-old or 14-year-old or 15-year-old, 18, 20, 21, I don't care. If there's a 20-year age gap and you haven't had a serious relationship yet, there's something wrong.
I really think it's all case by case basis and like what they want and what you want. Some old guys just really want like a companion and they're rich, and like, you know, the girl will be like, okay, cool.
I've never hooked up with someone more than like 3 or 4 years older than me.
I can't relate. Cannot relate.
That's why when I met Kevin when I was 25 and he was 21, I was like, this is crazy.
I guess in the case by case situation, I see so many boys that are like Michael at 21 versus Kevin at 21 are different creatures.
Yeah.
Like Michael, disgusting. Kevin, angel. I love Michael to pieces, and he couldn't be more supportive as a partner. Like, love him, and I know that he has my back no matter what in the entire world, and I have his. But I do know at that age, savage.
Yeah.
Just different time.
I was also savage.
Yeah, same. I was crazy.
I was insane.
My grandparents are 20 years apart.
But that was interesting. Just a little bit of thought.
Yeah.
I know last time I brought up like my a study shows type of thing, and I've been saving a couple of them.
I wish I saved because I saw the craziest one
you guys,
the other day. I'm like, what?
I have been getting so many of a crazy study shows like type of things hit my feed.
I see them daily.
So I wanted to tell you some of the ones that I saved. Hang on one second as I pull this up.
I remember one just off the top of my head I saw the other day. I forgot to send it to you guys, but it was like, study shows that there's a 1 in 6 chance that we will all see a nuclear bomb go off in our lifetime. And I was like, who made this study and how?
Yeah,
like, it was like puberty or something.
What's like, how the fuck do you know there's going to be a nuclear bomb going off? I saw one that was like, study shows spending money on your best friend can like really help your relationship. Or something like that.
That's funny.
What about, okay, this one's interesting. It's relevant to me. Massaging the neck and face helps flush waste out of the brain and may help fight Alzheimer's.
I mean, like, how do we know that?
Well, that's what gouache is for, right?
Well, also, like, I feel like when you massage any part of your body, it relaxes your body. So, like,
flushing out toxins, maybe?
Men who kiss their wives before leaving for work live an average of 5 years longer than men who don't.
And you know what? Maybe they do, because then their wives are like happier and they're like less stressed and they have like a happy home life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Scientists say mini black holes could be hiding in your home.
What? What does that even mean?
Tiny black holes might be zipping through your furniture and even your body without a trace. imagine a black hole so small it could be passing through your body and your kitchen table. That's stunningly, like, I guess, proposed by some cosmologist. Whoa.
Guys, this is why I feel sick every day, because I have tiny black holes drilling through my body.
Yeah, what felt sick this morning, Lee?
You did?
No, how'd you feel this morning? Like, what hurt?
Nothing.
Oh, good.
But I
Nothing
do
hurt
have
today?
allergies.
So no ailments today.
Oh, here's another study
Yeah.
shows.
Good.
Man nearly dies after injecting magic mushrooms and they start growing in his veins.
He really wanted it to go straight to the bloodstream.
And we don't need to know any of this shit either.
No.
Like, let's just live our fucking lives.
Here's what I wonder. You guys saw the movie Sinners, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, so good.
So
Love
fucking
it for
good.
those who haven't watched. It's about like vampires. Michael B. Jordan's so sexy
So
in
sexy. It's a phenomenal film. Like,
Anyways,
really
it's
good.
about vampires. Basically, there's a vampire in a town. They're at this like bootleg place in 1920s.
Don't ruin it for Leah, but yeah.
Michael B. Jordan has a twin, and it's like they're very gangster-esque. But anyways, people get kicked out of the bar. They get bit by these vampires, and then basically some people are trapped in the bar, and some people are now vampires outside of the bar. And they're waiting till sunrise to
Go outside.
yeah,
Because vampires melt.
and
in
hope that the
sun.
vampires don't get invited in. I was thinking about this even in a zombie apocalypse situation. Like, I think being in this clusterfuck of a city, I would just be like, bite me. Like, I would
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
walk
It'd be
my ass
easier.
outside and just be like, well, I guess we're all gonna live forever anyways, so just
It'd be easier to be bitten.
Don't you hate zombies? Like, you don't like those movies because they scare
that's
you?
like my biggest fear
Yeah.
ever.
Zombies.
I was about to say, you would love the show The Last of Us, but I know you would hate just like the mushroom.
I already watched
characters.
one episode, and when the grandma like came out with like the fuzzies coming out of her mouth, I said absolutely
It's
not.
crazy.
Do you have to like bend your imagination a lot though?
No, not really.
Okay.
But in the zombie scenario, like, I'm for sure getting bitten. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
No, I agree.
I watched the Hulu documentary Call Her Alex.
I did too yesterday.
What'd you think?
Thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have dived more into the Sophia Franklin of it all though.
Did they not?
They did show her, and they did explain the beginning of the podcast.
But it was all from Alex's narrative, I'm assuming.
They just said that the departure was
Yes.
that she, like, Alex wanted what they were offering and
Yeah.
Sophia didn't.
It was basically
That was it.
reiterating everything we already know.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anything legally that they had to like do to make sure that it was okay for Sophia's face to even be in
Same,
it.
I'm like surprised.
I don't know what that looks like, but her face was. Even videos of them were from like their early days together.
Well, who owns the usage of that?
I don't know. That's the thing. I have no idea. I don't know. So I don't know if she can. How
Does
that
Sophia
works.
get compensated?
I don't know.
Damn, that kind of makes me feel really bad for Sophia Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, she's in a docu-series that she probably had no idea or wanted to even be a part of.
Well, it's probably not about that at all. It was about the
Yeah, so I was confused
They barely
with the
touched on
first
that part,
episode
yeah.
because it was like really about like her tour and like getting set on tour and then like her home life and all this stuff. And then the second, like it really ended up being about how she was sexually harassed by her college soccer coach,
Mm-hmm.
which was like the main part of the documentary.
So is this like a push to raise awareness? Or
Yeah.
sorry, I'm like
I
trying
think
to, I didn't
so.
see it,
No,
so I don't
yeah.
know.
No, so now she's like really advocating for like other women who have gone through similar experiences
sports, yeah.
in sports.
I
Just
think it
being
happens
like
a lot in
silenced.
sports. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely happens in sports. I think anything. I mean, you guys know my hot take on that personally, but private
Yeah.
tutors, like counselors, anyone that's even remotely sports trained,
Anyone who's like a figure over you in that sort of way when you are a young person.
that you're like giving an authoritative
Yeah.
figure position to, absolutely not.
Dangerous.
Will never be around
Yeah.
my kid. Why do you want to be around kids so much?
Yeah, that's fucking
really
weird.
confuses me.
Yeah.
I'll never trust you.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I wonder. I don't know if BU's responded. I don't know.
I think they did. They responded 2 days ago. It says Boston University has a zero tolerance policy for sexual harassment. We have a robust system of resources, support, and dedicated staff to student well-being and a thorough report process through our equal opportunity office. We encourage members of our community to report any concerns, and we remain committed to fostering a safe and secure campus environment for all.
Okay, so that's like a whole lot of nothing.
It's
Yeah,
a whole lot
basically.
of blah, blah, blah. I don't feel like doing my job.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to type up really quick
Yeah.
as a brief. For me, it's more so like the world. And I think like schools, they put in all these processes, right? Like they're like, oh, we have dedicated resources that are like support systems and processes to be like put in place to even like file reports. The whole part of it, the initial part of the problem is like even filing the report, right? Like,
Yeah. They didn't want to do it in the documentary. That's what she was saying. Her mom, who is a psychiatrist, was documenting everything that Alex was saying over the last couple of years that was happening. They brought all this evidence to
these journal
the
entries.
dean.
Yeah.
And like they're like, this is what's been happening. That I guess the only thing that they asked was, they didn't even touch any of it. They said, what do you want?
And that's even more part of the problem is
Yeah.
that people that are just like, oh, I'm just going to allow this to happen
Right.
and not do anything about it.
Yeah.
We had a scary situation my family and I did when I was home. And I told you guys about this like briefly. It kind of distracted me from other like great things that had happened. But my sister's in beginning her second trimester, which is super exciting. And basically there was a woman sitting behind her. We were outside for dinner and they had like high tabletop bar stools. There's a woman sitting behind her. She must have been like 7 months, I want to say, in regards to like how long she was in her pregnancy. Like you could tell like she was getting close to that final trimester, if not in the final trimester. And she's sitting with her girlfriends and all of a sudden she's like, I'm really hot. And like she kind of waves and I'm facing her and my sister and her backs are like back to back. The woman like kind of like goes to get off her chair a little bit and the chair was like really tall and she like, I don't know if she fainted or stumbled, whatever it was. She went straight back, like back flat like this and like started seizing. And like it was the scariest thing ever. And it's crazy because we've had that CPR training where it's like, oh, like, hello, see if this person's responsive, whatever it was. But it took like all of, I want to say, even though it was 5 seconds, it felt like it was like 3 minutes to really be like, someone call 911, someone call 911. And like, no, everyone's looking at each other as if like, oh, who's going
to do it?
Who's going to be the one to call?
You in the red shirt.
Yeah, exactly. But that didn't even come across my mind in the immediate because it is so quick and so fast. So immediately I like get up and grab my phone. But it must have been like at that point the clock had hit maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's so scary in those situations. Like even again, we've had training and you are supposed to direct someone or designate someone. It's so fast.
Yeah, it's hard to make a hard and fast decision like that. Like, oh my God. And you also don't know this lady. And it's like, I don't know, calling a police and getting an ambulance is like a lot for someone.
Well, if you're pregnant and you have a seizure, like honestly, like you don't know how that could complicate things.
Well, and she was a physician, we found out, and she's like, it's fine, I'm good. And like she ended up like being able to get herself up. I mean, we helped her obviously get up, but like get up and like she walked to her car with her friend and her friend drove her home. Yeah. And I guess that's what happened to her before in Wayne too, which is so bizarre. Yeah. But I just like in those circumstances, you never really know what to do. And even though there was like, call the police, whatever, there's so many systems in the world structurally that are in place where it's like, even yelling, call 911, like everyone's like, oh, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And it's like, you really rather weird. Like look around and say, oh, well, that person called actually.
Yeah. Well, seizures are really scary to witness. Like I've witnessed one. I think I've told you guys on a plane. We were actually on the runway and we were in Philadelphia and we were stuck on the runway for a while. It was hot and I was in the middle seat and I was sitting next to a guy who was sitting in the aisle and he was a firefighter and we were just having a conversation like because we had nothing to do and he was super nice. And across from him was a woman who was also enjoying we were all kind of talking and I told you guys the story, but all of a sudden she like screamed, the woman, and then she like it was like and then she started seizing. And since he was a firefighter, like the second she even started like anything, he got up immediately. Like he was so on it. And like we're not professionals, so don't feel bad that you didn't do anything because like you're just a regular person.
Well, no, it just did. It made me. Well, first of all, it made me like come to the point of time where it's like I need to make sure that in those circumstances, even though they're so scary, like not
block out the noise.
Yeah, like not stressing.
Don't freeze.
In that, it like put me almost in like a frozen coma.
Fight or flight.
No, that happens when you see shit like that. It really does that. It really does that.
I like stunned me. Yeah. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. And also
I understand that.
I've had so many friends, unfortunately, who have had seizures, whether they're like epileptic or have been going through withdrawals or something. But seeing the
pregnancy, I think
I'll never forget it.
Because it's a shocking thing to see. I'm sure it was really traumatizing to even witness.
I also learned, like I was like searching after being like, what could this possibly be? But when you're pregnant, I told you guys this because it was like a new discovery, I guess, something educational if you guys want to know. But your baby's heart beats so much faster than yours. And when you're really hot, you can dehydrate really, really quickly. That's why they probably say like don't go into hot tubs or steam rooms
Yeah,
or things
that
like
makes
that. And it can cause you to have seizures.
You won't catch me outside on a summer's day when I'm pregnant.
No.
Because I'm already terrible with the
You just need to stay inside, AC.
Well, anyways, maybe we end
Way to
something.
end it.
Do we have any good news to end this on a bright note? Because I don't want this to be horrible.
I accidentally ate like a dog treat.
What?
It was in ice cream form.
What do you mean?
I got Van Loon ice cream and it said peanut butter banana, and there's a picture of a dog on it. But I'm like, oh, dogs like peanut butter banana ice cream.
Did it have a sign for dogs?
Nope. Just had all the flavors and
Is
like in like their like
is it
little
dairy?
cooler. Yes. I'm halfway through. I'm fucking high as shit. And Kevin's like, Leo, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm eating the ice cream. He's like, that's for dogs. And I ate half of it. It's delicious.
Well, I'm sure it's edible for you
It's
too.
probably edible for me, but I didn't even realize it was for dogs.
I have a foul funny story. We were
That's
up
so
at
funny,
Baskin
Leah.
Robbins, and like in Philly, they have like it's like to add to their 31 flavors day
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like a taste testing day. I feel like, Leah, you've definitely heard this story before. But they had like the spoons, and basically you can like go grab and like sample whatever.
Yeah.
So like naturally I'm like, oh my God, it's like Costco. I'm like trying every sampler, like
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
I
yeah.
can get my hands on. And as I'm grabbing from each thing and trying it, at one point the guy goes, oh my God, ma'am. And I was like, what? And they're like, that's the used taste tester spoons.
I feel like I was
Oh.
with you.
I don't know if you were or not, but I like literally.
I think I was
Was
with
it
you. I remember
self-service?
laughing.
I was just like, I guess I've swallowed worse, but I'll like pass away right now. Yeah, it was like a
Ugh.
self-service thing.
They should have put like a big sign up or something.
Oh my God, I was
Used
so
spoons.
embarrassed.
It
So
was-
embarrassed.
Oh my
It's
God,
like
man.
all these foul Philly people have definitely like, I don't know.
Yeah, ew.
On that note,
Buckle up.
Enjoy the ride.
and remember that
Boys lie.
And so do colleagues.
Boys lie. Boys lie.
Boys lie.
Boys lie, y'all.
Boys lie.
Them boys, they be lying.
Boys lie.